Welcome to the Caregiving podcast. I'm Inga.
And I'm Julie.
And long story short, we have Caregiving. We are two momtrepreneurs who have built an in-home care business from the ground up, guided every step of the way by God's care and fueled by agape love. Almost 14 years later, we felt called to create this podcast as a resource for families with caregiving needs. Whether you care for a family member or are looking for advice on professional caregiving, we want this to be a platform to support you.
Each week, we will come to you with encouraging stories of families who have found the right balance for their loved ones, tips for how to care for them and you, and much more. We hope you continue to join us each week as we share in this exciting new journey together.
Hello, Sunshines, and hello, Julie. How the heck are you?
I am really well.
Oh, awesome. So
Yeah.
it's starting to feel like fall is in the air.
Oh, my word. I got to wear my sweatshirt the other day.
I know. That's like my ideal temperature.
Yeah.
If it could just be sweatshirt weather all the time,
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
Yeah. It was too dang hot this summer.
Oh
Oof.
my gosh, I know. And isn't it funny how like with everything in life, it's either too hot or it's too cold or
Yeah.
we're never satisfied, it seems like.
Oh, no. Always have something to complain about.
I do love that the leaves on the trees are changing. I just find it
It's
so
a
beautiful.
little too early for that, though. I am not ready for winter.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Because then you'll be complaining that it's too cold.
Yes. Yes.
At least we know. It's all good. All righty. Well, today I think we had a verse submitted, and this is Psalms 149:4. This verse says, "For the Lord takes delight in his people. He crowns the humble with victory."
Very good.
Yeah.
Keep humble.
Keep humble, and God will always take care of you. And I just feel like our Heavenly Father delights so much in his people.
Yeah.
And he wants us to be victorious.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got to have something more than that, not just, yep, Come on, Jules, look alive, sister.
Well, I'm actually thinking about the humility.
Yes.
And so with that, in your day-to-day, you can't be prideful. You can't think it's your own idea. You have to, once again, I think I see it every single podcast, is we are not in control.
Not at all.
And when you work in home care, you find that daily, that you think you've got a plan and then one phone call, but that's that control issue.
Yes.
And then going back to just knowing that you must be humble, because we are not the ones. He's answering our prayers every day, but it's not always with a yes, right?
Righto. Well, and it makes me think of that unanswered prayer song by Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
So true. So much truth to that. And like you're saying, we in home care, it can just change with the flip of a switch, and we just have to be humble and roll
phone
with it.
call and
Work together and make things happen. But I very much do believe that God has not failed me yet.
Nope.
And I do not see that coming anytime in the future.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Nope. Pure blessings.
Yes. Well, if you're out there listening to us and you have a verse that you would like to submit, please email us at thecaregivingpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is thecaregivingpodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear your verse. We'd love to share it on the air. If you have a story or a reason why it is important to you, please share that with us. And if not, then you can still submit it and we'll just, put our touch on it.
Really, we want so many verses. We want so many grammar sayings that we just simply can't keep up.
Yes.
How exciting is that when you know that people are listening to you and they're engaging and they want to be part of the show?
Yes, absolutely. So hit us up. We're looking forward to
Hit
it.
Hit us with your best shot.
Yes. Oh, God. All right. Boy, she really woke up, didn't she?
It's your fault.
All right. Well, Julie, what did you bring today for your uplifting story?
Oh, my goodness. So this was a story that went viral because it was a thing where there was a group of kids that had gone to dinner with their mom and dad, and they looked over and there was a little lady that was sitting there all by herself at the restaurant. And so it says, an elderly woman eating lunch alone at a restaurant on Father's Day. And the reason this is good is because actually our topic today is about holidays.
Nice.
So envision that this little lady's alone on Father's Day and was initially shocked when 3 teenage brothers asked to join her. Yet her shock turned into joy and gratitude when she discovered the siblings wanted to learn about her life, talk about God, and spread a little love. And so they said that when they saw this woman at the table alone, they couldn't help but think that this woman may have been someone's grandma. And so having lost their own grandma just that February, the boys spent some time thinking about their favorite memories with her. And so initially she was pretty shocked that these kids just came and plopped down. However, it was quickly replaced with gratitude and sheer joy. She was delighted to have them join her.
That just gives me such hope. There's always hope, right?
Yeah, these are good kids. And the mom actually was pretty sweet. She said that reflecting back on the incident, because of all of the positivity that has come up because of it, she said that Faith has taught her family the importance of treating others with love, respect, and dignity.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty special kids.
We need a lot more of that in our world.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Well, my story, as per usual, it either has to do with food or animals or caregiving type things. Today is going to be animals. So the story involves Alana, I hope I'm saying that right, Mowgli, and Hummer. So this Alana is a lady that actually lives in California, and she is a caregiver, like human caregiving, but a caregiver to all beings. But she actually started like a hummingbird rescue.
Oh.
And what's interesting is that her dad is a pilot in Colorado and had always had this like just, I don't want to say strange, but just this connection with birds. So what ends up happening is she has a connection to animals. She has a connection to caregiving. She has had a hard time. And I think it was in 2015, ended up at the animal shelter, rescued this little dog, Mowgli. Oh. Right. Yep. And Mowgli had been turned in, just left in a cardboard box. The shelter had absolutely no information about him at all. Didn't know how old he was. Didn't nothing. But she just felt this connection to him. And so there was this kindred spirit, and she thought, you know what, we're going to take a chance on each other. So she adopts this dog, Mowgli. Well, then I don't know how it ended up happening, but she ends up with the little baby hummingbird that, basically was not thriving somehow. I don't know if it had gotten kicked out of the nest and wasn't ready, whatever. She ends up with it. And so she's nervous about what to do and what is the dog going to think. And so she thinks quickly to herself, like, I'm going to call my dad because he's got this connection. He'll know what to do. So the dad essentially, walks her through, this is what you need to feed it. This is how often you need to feed it. Turns out it's like every 30 minutes. So it is not a small commitment when you decide that you're going to rehab a hummingbird. But anyway, she called this little guy Hummer. And basically in this story, there's a picture of the dog Mowgli with the little hummingbird just sitting on him. And there was like no weirdness or nothing. So Mowgli clearly is, there to help heal as well. And what's interesting is once the hummingbird started to get a little bit of rehab and start to get a little bit energy, it would try to fly, but it wasn't yet ready to really be able to fly. And so basically it'd fly and then it would crash, and then she couldn't find it. So Mowgli would then go and find the hummingbird in the house, lead her to the hummingbird so that they could get it back, back to where it needed to be. And all of this happened in like 36 hours. So not a tremendous amount of time, but by the end of the 36 hours, they were able to rehab the bird to the point that it could be then turned back out into the wild. Oh, so I just thought that's so cool.
Oh my word, only 36 hours. But I do have to tell you, I relate with that hummingbird because I like to eat every 30 minutes too.
Yes, me too. I'm with you. Yes. That's awesome. Yes. If only someone would just, bring me food every 30 minutes, it'd probably be a lot easier to get along with.
Don't be hangry.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. Yes. Well, anywho, that is that.
That is a great story.
Yeah. So it looks like today we have decided that we are going to talk about holidays and how to navigate through the holidays when you are a caregiver or a family member, or someone that's involved in a difficult situation. And I think you had listed out for us, Julie, that we want to touch on like New Year's, Valentine's, Memorial Day, 4th of July, some of the bigger ones. We've got Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then also talking about birthdays and anniversaries and how we can help bring a positive impact to those dates. Right. And then also you had wanted to talk about the year of firsts. Yeah. Because that is very, very hard. So I'm going to turn the mic over to you and let you just start talking.
Okay. I can do that.
Good luck, everybody.
Yes. Hang on. I'm going to actually put on my spectacles, actually.
Yes.
So basically, holidays can be really hard. Yes. When you think of the holidays, you kind of generally put everything from Thanksgiving to New Year's Eve, but there's all those other holidays that you
Sure.
mentioned, the Valentine's and the 4th of July, and every single holiday comes up with some memory.
Yes.
And so what are those memories going to be? And how can we work with our elders that may have confusion or, tough memories or just even sometimes just getting, we love our family, but sometimes getting everybody together
Sure.
is really stressful. And the expectations, and we've talked about expectations before.
Yes.
The expectations of holidays are tremendous. And a lot of the time that rests on probably the mama. And she's the one that makes the big deal dinner, and everybody comes to mother's house. And sometimes we don't realize that she might be taking care of grandma or her spouse or something, and we just take for granted, well, it's always going to be the same because this is our tradition.
Right.
And so that is one of those things that the biggest number one in the world for having any kind of holiday and surviving it is truly to be realistic. Everybody, we got that Norman Rockefeller picture in our head of the perfect holiday with the fireplace, drinking eggnog, and everybody laughing. And it's not always that.
Yes.
You might have a teenager that's being surly and they're over in the corner on their phone. There's a reality here. So basically, yeah. Meanwhile, all of the prettiness is going on, the decorations, but somewhere in the back, somebody's working their butts off to be able to have that illusion.
Sure.
So who is that person and how can we help them? So there is a lot of added stress, and be it visits or trips out and about, even shopping for the holiday can be big, and just party hopping. And it's exhausting, and for the caregiver and for the loved one alike.
Right.
And so anyway, the second thing besides being realistic is also to prioritize.
Yes.
And then just realize what is the most important. What is the most important? A feeling that comes up quite a bit, and we just do this to ourselves, is guilt. And sometimes a caregiver struggles with being so busy during the holidays that they don't feel like they did enough for the dinner, or they didn't do enough to take care of their person, and just get rid of the guilt. Don't even go there. And the other thing is ask for help.
Yes.
If you just can't get the turkey done at Thanksgiving, it's okay. Ask somebody else to bring the turkey. And guess what? It will still be great.
Yes.
It will be great.
Yep.
And so let's do that. The image that just came into my mind is the Griswold's holiday, right? There it comes out, this big, beautiful turkey, and then they put the knife in there and it just blows up. And then don't we all have Uncle Eddie? Somebody in our family is going to be that person. And so there's joy and there's all of these emotions. And but what we have to remember is to pull it all together and just have a beautiful time.
Yeah.
A beautiful time.
We have, and I don't know if this is the time for it or not, so stop me, but we have done something. So Thanksgiving has always been very, very important to me and to our family. I don't know why. We would always gather at my grandma's house, and we would do like work parties and burn brush and just clean up around, and, the uncles and the aunts and the cousins. And, this started when we were little kids, but then, the cousins now have all grown up and we're adults. And anyway, and Grandma Fisher would always just prepare this just amazing Thanksgiving dinner for us. Well, as time has gone on, it's tough on her. She's now in her 90s, and it's not really an expectation that we can have of her, like you were talking about, that one person usually puts everything together. And so what we've done as a family is we've shifted, and actually now everybody gets to come to my house. We don't have the work party, but they do come, and I try to provide a lot. But in terms of asking for help, Grandma still gets to make the pies for Thanksgiving. She gets to make the pies. And my brother and his wife and family, they bring their portion of it, and we still have this family tradition. We're still all together, but we were able to look at it and go, okay, it's not really realistic for us to expect Grandma to be able to do all of this. So how can we pitch in as a family and And actually, you're talking about kind of this beautiful, the decorations and this and that, and the illusion. It's no illusion at my house. It's mass chaos, and we all love it.
Yes,
and that's how I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
We call it all the kids and the noise and the mess.
Oh,
and
cute.
and it's just the best thing ever. But I just love that we've been able to do that. But as we then again think about, where grandma is in her life, and at some point in time, because I live about, 30, 40 minutes away from where my mom and grandma and brother's family live, it may be a situation where grandma is not able to travel out, or so then we may have to think about shifting back to her house, but just doing all the meal prep there, and she's not having to be responsible for it. So I think talking as a family, and like you said, understanding the expectations and being realistic about what you're expecting of yourself and or other people is really, really important. And being flexible. Is it different to have it at my house versus having it at grandma's house? Of course it is, but we're making new traditions, and we're still all together.
Yeah.
And, the kids love to come. At least I think they do. I make a really fun punch, and it's very, very docile. There's nothing wild about it, but that's one of the things that the kids love the most. And so.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you talk about your family, I'm thinking about my family. So as I grew up, Christmas Eve, we always went to Grandma and Grandpa Jackson's, and there was a huge sledding party, and then everybody got together. I don't know how we all fit into the house. It was just so many cousins, and it was just wonderful. Then we would go home, and Santa would have been there.
Aww.
And so we would open those presents, and we would just have just the immediate family. The next morning, we would get up and then go to Grandma Patsy's house. And so that was how I grew up. Now then, I got married, and all of a sudden I had to start sharing myself.
Yes.
And so what we've tried to do is do like either Thanksgiving or Christmas with Mike's family. It's hard. They live much, much further.
Sure.
And so to travel and all of that on top of it is crazy. But I remember the first year that I didn't get to go do my normal stuff. I cried. Yeah. I was a married gal, but I still cried because I just wanted those traditions. Now Grandma and Grandpa Jackson are both gone. So that's kind of changed that. And we just had to flex and go. But still, those memories are the coolest memories that I have.
Oh, I love it.
Being with them and all of the cousins. I've told you about my cousins.
Oh, yes.
But anyway, so a few small changes that can make holiday caregiving easier is hosting a potluck. Like you said, everybody brings a bit. And the other thing is explain to the people that are going to be there what's going on with your person. Sure. If it's your spouse or whoever it is, if they've got dementia or they've got Parkinson's, just tell everybody prior to that. Say, don't, if he's going through this, don't worry about it. Sure. We'll work through everything, but there are things going on. Sure. And I think that it's not an easy conversation to have, but you have to do that. You have to talk about what's going on so nobody's surprised. A lot of people don't know how to deal with different diseases, and they're very, very taken aback when they've seen a decline, if they haven't seen that person for a year or whatever the case. But having open communication will help that, and then that person can process it prior to seeing the person face to face.
Absolutely.
Even if somebody's got dementia, they say that name tags. Even though it's your grandma and she should know who you are, she may not be capable of that.
Yes.
It's nothing personal. I'll tell you what, I'm trying to remember how many cousins are on my dad's side. Holy cow. But what Grandpa would always do, hey, girl. And we all came running.
This one this time.
Yeah, that one. And we all knew we were the girl, because he just wasn't going to be able to keep up. And that was okay.
Hey, girl.
It was so okay. Keep your visits shorter. And find creative ways to make gift giving less of a hassle. Preparing the loved one with special needs for the holiday festivities can be as important as preparing the rest of the family. If someone is having a problem with sundowners, for example, like we were talking, celebrate earlier in the day.
Sure.
So you just may have to shuffle a few things, but try to keep it also as as normal as possible. Play the familiar music, serve the familiar foods, try to keep everything as quote, quote, normal,
Yes.
right?
Be as flexible as you possibly can while maintaining the things that you've always had.
And the other thing that everybody has to remember is just because it was done one way for so long doesn't mean you have to keep it that way.
Yep.
Change is good.
Yes.
And it's okay even during the holidays.
Something else that we've done at my family is, so I get Thanksgiving, everybody gets to come to my house, and then my brother gets Christmas, and talking about that, keeping gift giving like manageable and things like that, and keeping traditions. So my family's very musical, so we always will have a little Christmas program.
So cool.
Yep. And sing, and everybody sings, and varying degrees of how good we are at it. But we all love it. And then, my nieces and nephews, they play guitar and violin and cello and piano. And it's awesome.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah. And then we do like games. So we'll do like that saran wrap game where even Grandma Fisher gets to play, and she's a savage, man. She is so good at rolling doubles. You don't want to be on either side of her because we should probably take her to Vegas. I don't know if you can say that on a podcast or not. But
I don't know. The best Vegas trip I ever took was when Patsy was with me.
That's right. Yes. Yes. And then we do, we do like the passing the bag back and forth. Like you read a story, and every time the word right is, I guess, right for me is this way. You hand it this way or that way, and it keeps it like really, really fun, and everybody gets to be engaged, but it's not so overwhelming that it's not manageable.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
So cool. So the holidays, like I said, we tend to think about those ones that are later in the year, but there's also ones that happen during the summer.
Yes.
And with the summer that we've had, and actually just on the news this morning, I heard that there's areas on the East Coast that are going to be triple digits again. Wow. You can't just take your elder out and assume that they're going to be okay in that kind of weather. Yep. They do talk about, if you're planning on going on a big trip, be it flying or being driving for several hours, if you need to, talk to your physician and make sure it's a good idea. Yeah. Actually, right now we have 2 different clients that the families need to go out of state to weddings. Mm-hmm. And they had to make very, very hard decisions to leave their loved ones at home. Mm-hmm. And the people that hadn't seen mother for quite some time were really upset. Right. That they just thought, that the daughter was being mean, and you're keeping her from us. And she's like, no, you haven't seen where
you don't know
is where we're at with her disease. So it was a very emotional decision to keep her from going to the wedding. Right. But what's going to be so nice is they're going to be bringing back all of the pictures. Oh, yes. And all of the well wishes. Yes. And they do have a big party planned for the next year where everybody's going to come here and see her. Yeah. But really, truly, it's not always wise to send somebody, not only are you talking about the flight, but you're talking about the hotel, or it's not your bed, and the food and the chaos, the stimulation just in itself is really concerning. Yeah, because you think about like at home, you've got your routine, everything is normal. This person is familiar with everything that's going on. But then if you take someone that, like that's suffering with confusion or any type of a cognitive, and you put them into probably what would feel like a circus, it could be really, really detrimental. I know that the daughter was actually a little concerned to go herself, because at the wedding there was gonna be like 500 people. Oh gosh, wow. Yeah. So even for a normal person, that is over the top. That's very people-y to take in. Very people-y. So people-y. Yes. And then staying safe it's the hydration. Yep. And skin. Yeah. And then heat. Yeah. I mean, people don't realize that they're starting to get heat stroke. And that's even for normal people. That I was at an event this summer, and we all looked over, and some guy just dropped. Yeah. And it was simply, he had to get out of the sun, and dad hadn't even realized it was happening. Yep. And when you have an elder that for whatever reason has other issues going on, that's a big problem. So there's a lot of things to think about. You can't just think about yourself and then grabbing the towel and going. When you've got somebody that you're responsible for, you got to think every side of it.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I know we all like to be outdoors when it's beautiful, but when you have your loved one with you, you might have to have everything inside.
Right.
Or at least have a place where they can be comfortable and everybody can visit.
My mom and grandma have a really cool tradition that they do for 4th of July. They actually will get in the car and they'll go and drive to this particular place where they can just stay in the parked car and be able to see beautiful, beautiful fireworks happening. And then they'll go through Dairy Queen and get their ice cream.
Oh, yes.
So it's a way that they've worked out to still be able to celebrate, but not necessarily put them either in a crowd or, being out during the hot during the day. But yeah, I mean, it's just little things like that and thinking outside the box of how you can still get someone the celebration, but just in a safe manner.
Oh my gosh, that is so cute.
Yeah.
So cute. So basically, the one thing that they have recommended, and it's gotten more and more popular just because everybody was so isolated this past time, but video chats. You can do it through Facebook. You can do it through WhatsApp. There is no reason that you can't get somebody on the phone and see their face while you're talking to them instead of just on that. So there's a lot of different ways. Just get creative about how are we going to share the joy of the holiday with our loved ones. Yep. So just to kind of summarize all of that. So ideas for the caregiver is don't try to do it all. In the past, you might have made dinner for 20 doesn't mean you have to continue to do that.
Sure.
Don't attempt to drive long distances. If somebody isn't used to that and they tire easily, ask friends and family to provide respite care, avoid comparisons of past holidays, and create new traditions. Then ideas for your loved one, find a way to have your loved one participate in the holidays, that creativity we were talking about. Decorate your loved one's room or the living area to incorporate symbols and decorations that are meaningful.
Yep.
Doesn't everybody have a trinket on their tree?
Yes.
That they just have.
That's the one.
It reminds them of a very special time.
Yep.
Stimulate all of your loved one's senses with the sounds, sights, smells, and tastes of the holiday. Familiar holiday foods are a nice way to evoke positive memories. And then if your loved one is in a care facility, just make sure to pass out Christmas cards or do something to just that extra little bring the joy to everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, now on the flip side of the happiness of holidays, there's what's called the year of firsts. And we might need to get the cryometer out because this is going to be hard. And I'm going to try not to ugly cry. So just so you guys are aware.
I'm already crying.
I am already telling you, just know. But as you guys, I've probably mentioned that I lost my dad in September. And so this is a year of firsts. And it sucks. And so basically what you do is think of the existing people that are left. And when mom and dad's anniversary came, I made dang sure that grandmother got roses because dad always did that. Yes. And then the holidays, just don't keep them alone. In our family, it's a big agriculture family. And my brother, he's such a big, tough cowboy, right? And for his branding, he actually had a chair out there. It was so sweet, but so hard because it was the first year ever that Dad hadn't been at branding. So with these holidays that come up, we're talking about anniversaries, we're talking about birthdays, we're talking about all of these other holidays that we've already talked about. Allow yourself to grieve. It's okay. I know it's an ugly cry, but it's healing. It helps you. And you have to keep that memory alive. It's almost been, it's been over 6 years now that we actually lost my stepdaughter, Cassie, too. And her birthday's in December. And every year I go and buy a birthday cake. Yes. And we sing happy birthday. And because we know that, like Dad, she's in heaven with us, watching over us. And so we have birthday cake. And some people think I'm a little weird about that, but I am going to do that every year because of that piece of my heart. Yes. That's not
I don't
here.
think it's weird at all. I think you're weird for a lot of other reasons, but not that one.
And so we have a birthday cake and then, So it's just, and then it never goes away, and that's okay. But these holidays are triggers for people that are still here. So just think about your person. I know that Dad's Day is coming up, and I'm going to make sure that Mom's taking care of that day because, it's hard on us. But Mother, she had Dad for over 50 years. And so it's tough.
Yeah.
Those years, those holidays. It doesn't matter if you're trying to survive them with your family or survive after without your family. They're not easy.
Yeah.
So give yourself grace and don't hold it in. And don't try to be tough, and it's okay to ugly cry in front of America.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, those are kind of all of my thoughts on holidays.
Yeah.
There's a lot to think about.
There really is. I think that all of the holidays can still be honored in a way that is safe for your loved ones, and still you still have those traditions, or you're rolling into new traditions, or you're kind of making a hybrid, or whatever that looks like for you. But don't stop living and don't stop celebrating, and make sure that you include your people to the best of your ability, because if it's important to you, it's important to them,
oh,
right?
Goodness, yeah. So basically, Happy New Year's, Happy Valentine's, Happy Memorial Day. Do we ever say that? Happy 4th of July. Halloween, have a great Turkey Day, a Merry Christmas, and happy birthday.
Aw, thank you, Julie.
Yes, wrap them all up in one big session.
One big happy.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Well, I'm going to have Julie read to you our caregiver submission, and then we'll tell you how you can get connected to subscribe to all of this wonderfulness.
Right. We actually had a submission where I just thought this was very, very funny. Samantha said that her grandma said, keep an open mind and things seem less strange. If that isn't the truth.
Yeah, that's one way to do it.
Oh my goodness.
My mind just continues to get more and more open.
Yes.
And life is a lot better.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You just got to find a way to just smile and laugh and just keep that open mind. And
strange isn't always bad.
Oh goodness.
Just
So
like
that's
weird.
a good thing.
We're a couple of weirdos. Yeah. We're okay with it.
Yeah. I've accepted my weirdoism.
Yes. Okay. All right. Well, if you are interested in subscribing, we would love to have you hit us up. You can find us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. You can also watch the video on YouTube. If you elect to do that, just know we are aware that we have faces for radio. So it was a trick, but I mean, we're committed at this point.
Yeah.
Leave us a review, but only positive ones. That's all we're accepting. Share us with a friend. Join the Apaga Care and Share Facebook group and join in our discussion.
Oh, we're on Instagram.
Oh, yes. And the TikTok.
And the TikTok.
I don't think they call it the TikTok.
The TikTok.
Oh, God. We got to wrap this up. All right. Peace out, Girl Scouts.
Goodbye. Have a good day. Bye-bye.